All right, so here we go. I got old Tanky boy. Here comes my neighbor, my wheelchair neighbor. I'm gonna slide this over here. So we have either one of our admins at the rescue, or maybe it's a foster. I don't know. We'll start doing some leash work with the high energy puppy. All right, now Tank is not high energy. He's but I've got him. I've been wanting to get him on the slip lead. I might go to prong collar with him too. So I'm gonna talk a little equipment wise. Hey, good boy. All right. So your walks. If you have a high energy dog, right? I see these people talking about the harness is just fine. I saw a chick last night. Harness is okay, but this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing a piece of food every step. If that's what you want to do, then do it. Now here's the other thing. That food is going to lose value with the dogs, especially high energy dogs. Right? How you doing, buddy?
All right, man.
All right. Good job. So see, he keeps lifting his paw. All right. So, where was I going? So, a lot of times, high energy dogs, you're going to have to start with corrections, right? Usually, I like to do a lot of redirection, right? Outside turns, inside turns. Give the dog something to fall back on. Now, it depends on the dog. So, a lot of times when the dog's energy is up here, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna play first. Interactive play. Fetch is crap. I mean, it's okay because it gets some energy out of there, but you're gonna want to tug or flirt pull with them, something where it's actually you doing, you know. Oh, you're a good boy, right? And during heel drills, I use a lot of food. So he's never been on a slip lead before. This is his first time on the slip lead. Right, so my intention is to maybe show a correction right from the start. Now he has done heel drills. We haven't done a whole lot of leash work because we do a ton of structure work and reinforcing positions elsewhere. Now he does good when I'm walking pack walks. He stays right real good. Every once in a while he gets a little wacky, but for a 7-month-old puppy, he's really pretty good. And I would say it's because we've done so much other like position stuff, and there's been a lot of walking around the apartments. There's been a lot of I'll let him go all the way to the end of the leash. That's another thing. You're not going to give the dog the end of the leash, because if you give the dog the end of the leash, it's going to pull and be crazy. Now, once the dog gets pretty good, you can give them more freedom, but initially you're not going to want to give it all to them because they're going to take what you give them. Right? So anyways, again, like back to with him, he might do super good and I might not be able to show you some stuff. Walking around apartments to potty, I would let him go to the end of the leash, and when he would hit the pressure, I'd just kind of stop, or I'd even keep, a lot of times I'd keep walking, and just every time he came back to me, reward, right? And we've done a lot of recall work. So when I do my recalls with him, I have had him come all the way around. I've started being lax on that. So anyways, we were doing recall work, he's coming back here. We're doing position work, he's getting rewarded right here. So there's a lot of reinforcement history is the term they're using these days, of him being right here. So I think that's why he does pretty good for a 7-month-old. So ready? And you can use the word if you want. You can say let's go, you can say heel, it doesn't matter. If you want your heel to be perfect, but your walk is not going to be perfect, right, then don't use it here. Use it in positioning first, right? So he knows it. So heel. And every time you turn in the beginning, you're going to go heel. And you're going to do a round turn, and you're going to give him food when he's in the position. Yeah, he's doing great, right? Then you have inside turns, heel. Every time you turn, mark and reward. Good. My hand's in my pocket too soon. Oh, stupid thing. Good job. He gets a good job because he slowed down with me, right? So you're gonna turn, you're gonna have outside turns, right? You might do 20 outside turns before you can do an inside turn. Outside turn is the dog's on the outside. What happens is he starts following you. If he hits the least pressure, you just keep going. Like say, good boy, right? He's doing great. Say you turn and he keeps going. You just keep going. He's gonna hit the least pressure, good boy. You're still gonna mark and reward when he gets next to you, right? Now eventually, right, says look, he's creating pressure. I don't care, I don't do anything, good boy. Mark and reward. Now, after a few days of this, I start going to good boy. If there's pressure, I don't reward. I'll just mark, right? So say right here, say we're 3 days in. Right here, he keeps going and he hits the least pressure, like right there. I won't reward, but I will. Good boy, right? And then say on this turn, he creates no pressure. I will mark and reward. Good boy, right? Now, once you've done quite a, and here's the other thing. Everybody always wants to get out and let's go for a walk down around the block. Well, then your dog's pulling you. Your dog doesn't understand what to do except for to be going, right? So you got to teach them this stuff. You got to teach them to follow you. You can give them a break. Say you get some good walk, right? Say we get some good walk. You can go break. Say break, put them off in the grass. Once you want food for a break, I'm a sucker, right? So, back to the turns. Outside turns. It might take you 20 turns before he starts not creating pressure, right? When he doesn't create pressure, or when the pressure is really light, you can start doing inside turns, all right? So, inside turns is this. Come on. Right? Inside turns, you have your outside turns, right? And now he's doing pretty good. Now you can cut him off, inside turn, good boy, right? If he's starting to go too fast, you can use backward pressure and cut him off. Good boy. Mark and reward when he's in position, right? So now you've done quite a few insides. So what happens is the outside turns gets them following you. The inside turns helps them helps push them back, right? So now you've done outside turns, you've done inside turns. Now you can go into figure eights, right? Good boy. Mark and reward. You go inside turn. Good boy. Mark and reward, right? Once the whole turn, then you have sharp turns. That gets them in tight. Good boy. If you don't care about them getting in tight, then who cares? Now, the thing about the sharp turns too is sometimes they're fun. You have higher energy dogs, even if you played with them, these little outside turns like this can become kind of boring. So if you see them starting to get way too much, you can do a sharp turn, good, and then go back into them, good, right? Let me show you that this way, because that's the other way from your eyes, right? So it's kind of fun, right? Oh, wait, sharp turn, good boy, and then back into them, good boy. I shouldn't have had my hand in my pocket there. It's a bad habit that I have. The other thing you can do is he's starting to get bored, you can try to run a little bit. I can't run because my leg. You got to watch that though, and then you slow back down. Good boy. All right, so you turn, you speed it up a little bit, watch for the play. Good boy. And then you slow back down. All right. Good boy. That makes it a little more fun, a little less boring for the dog. Good job. All right. Now, let me show you correction. A lot of times with a higher energy dog, oh, I didn't get enough on the equipment. A lot of times with a higher energy dog, you're gonna come out and let's say we haven't done any movement. First is the energy all starts inside, right? The crate, he's gotta be calm to come down. The front door, he's gotta be calm. I don't care about sitting, going out first, all that stuff is whatever. You want his energy to be settled down. If you get to the door and he's excited, walk away from it, right? So here's your correction. Good boy. Now I can be firm with him because he needs it, right? He's a strong guy, right? So you come out the door and you see, I don't have to do too much, right? And keep moving. You don't want to, right? Say this is just on your turns, right? Let's see if he goes for it. Right. You're trying to come down shoulder level. Good boy. Trying to come down shoulder level and to the side. Right? Sometimes with higher energy dogs, they want to, wah! Well, you got to control that energy level, right? And you can do it a couple ways. My opinion is if you just stand there, it's going to take a lot more. Whereas if you do 1 or 2 corrections, now we can get into rewarding the behavior we want faster. And he knows, don't act like a jackhole. Good boy. Does that make sense? Yes and no. Don't act like a jackhole. Be good. You'll get all this food in the world. So, back to equipment. Okay. You might need, if you have them on a martingale or on a harness, you might need to go slip lead, right? Slip lead, come here. Let's come up this way, right here. Right? Slip lead, you want it as high as you can get it, right? And you put your little lock on there. Yeah, it's a good boys. Ready? Let's go. Good boy. Let's see. Right? Oh my gosh, it's cold. Let's see. What else do I want to say? Right? The martingale might not be, a lot of times martingale's not enough for higher energy dogs. So the higher aversive you go, the lighter you can be with it. Like say I had him on the prong collar. If I had him on the prong collar, the correction you saw me do, I could go softer because the tool makes up for it. A lot of times with higher energy dogs, you want that prong collar because there's more pressure points, right? And you're gonna hear a lot of crap about how it hurts them. If it's fitted right, the pressure is no more than if the dog's pulling on his collar. And actually, quite often, with it, it makes them stop pulling faster, like even if you don't use corrections. So if you use it as negative reinforcement, which to me, negative reinforcement, whether it's naturally or added, is when he starts pulling on the slip lead or on the martingale, works the same way. Any no-pull harness uses negative reinforcement. It constricts on the dog until the dog stops pulling. And ideally what happens is you notice when it starts constricting and you stop walking, and then the constriction stops and you start walking again. Good boy, right? So that's how you get the negative reinforcement, is the application of pressure and the release of that pressure to encourage that behavior. Negative reinforcement, positive and negative in dog training, is adding or subtracting, is not good or bad. Okay? Reinforcement means I'm trying to encourage the behavior. So I've seen people say, you're using negative reinforcement to stop pulling. Well, sort of. It works on stop pulling, but it's because it's encouraging the dog walking with you. Does that make sense? It's reinforcement. We're trying to reinforce the dog doing this, right? And that happens through the light pressure that happens being released. And you can add positive reinforcement, right? And you can add the food, or the fact that you're walking forward is the positive reinforcement, right? So I got to get all this food. Ready, sit. Right, let's see. What else do I want to say? So, being outside with a high energy dog could be too much. The cold is too much. You know what? Go inside your garage. Start inside your garage. Right? or start in the driveway, start in the yard, right? I feel like the problem with starting in the yard is you're in the grass. So when you say break, I like initially the break to be totally different surfaces. You're a good boy. Break. That way it's super, super clear. But typically, if you do 5 to 7 minutes of this, you can get going. And then if the dog starts going too fast, you can do what I call little boop boops. You take the leash and you go boop boop. And a lot of times that makes them kind of settle down. Or you can go into your redirection. Say after 5 to 7 minutes of the heel drills, now I can walk all the way to that pole. Well, when I get to that pole, he's going to be distracted. So you just do a figure 8 so you can keep going. Right. Oh, the other one that I like to do is say we're moving, he's getting distracted. You can do 360, right? Good boy, right? Now I can keep going that way, right? Say I did my heel drills. Say I did my heel drills right here, right? Then I get down here, I get 3 blocks, 3 squares. Well, now he's distracted. Well, I can do a 360 or I can do a figure 8. Wait, a figure 8 makes me go backwards. Hold on, how did that happen? No, a figure 8 should maybe, oh, because I'm trying to do a half circle over here. Ah! Right? You do your sharp turn. You do a couple sharp turns, right? You do a sharp turn here. Good. You do a sharp turn here. You can do it this way. You can do it this way. Now watch when you start moving too fast. Higher energy dogs, they can get up. So you got to slow back down. All right? Get a little up, 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 slow down. This is going to help with the off switch too, right? If we go a little bit slow, right? He's learning to be jacked up. He's learning to come down, right? Speed up, slow down. Good boy. Initially, I like to do I did it with him, like going the same way. Initially, I like to do it with changes like I just did there. Fast going one way, turn, and then go slow, right? If you're trying to work and you have people coming, you ideally want to be in between the dog and the people, so that way the dog can't mess with the people. And if he's particularly distracted, you create space if possible, right? And then at some point, you just want to get away from the distraction. Right? So it helps the dog if you're in between the distraction and the dog. And say he's trying to go across you. Let's try to do it this way. Say the distraction's over here, right? You're in between the distraction and the dog. If he's trying to go across you, you kind of goose step it out. Keep your foot to block him. You just body block him so he can't do it. Or you turn into him, right? It's a good boy. All right, I think this is probably long enough. So that's your leash work stuff. And look, there are times like I have some dogs, dude, where I've gone like a whole week and only gone like 5 of these little square blocks on the thing. And at first you want to do 2, 3, 4 minutes, right? And then build that time. So when you do your breaks, you don't want to do I should have told him break. When you do your breaks, you don't want to say break when he's pulling and acting crazy. You want to get him focused into, you want to get a little bit of good walk, then give him a break, right? And the break, I usually do 30 seconds to a minute. I'm looking for 3 to 5 minutes of work and about 30 seconds of a break, right? And then here's the other thing, like back to the trying to go for a 20-minute walk. If you do heel drills like this for 5 minutes, give them a break, come back, do 5 more minutes, give them a break, come back. It doesn't matter if you only walk in front of your house for 30 minutes, he still gets 30 minutes of exercise on walking. And he's learning to walk with you good, right? You smell someone left a poo-poo over there? That happens here. right? So, right, you may or may not have to do corrections to start with. If you don't want to do corrections, if you don't feel comfortable, then you're going to want to be sure, and you don't have to. You know what I mean? Just usually it helps you. There's a lot of crap out there saying don't correct your dog, blah, 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 blah. The problem with that is when we have these high energy dogs, if they're in a crazy, oh my God, I want to go this way, I want to go this way, the correction will get them to a brain function, right? So say your play isn't enough. For dogs that don't have off switch, play isn't enough to get them into a thinking brain mode, right? So you play to get them focused on you, like while they're aroused, right? And you build that, and play's a great bonding thing. So a lot of times that's not enough, especially when they don't have an off switch, right? Which an off switch does not come with dogs naturally very often. So where was I going with this? So that correction a lot of times gets them into the, oh, I gotta pay attention, right? So what's worse? One correction that's saying, hey dude, pay attention to me, right? Or keeping the dog in the state of mind of, oh my God, look at that, 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 oh my God, look at that. Which one's worse? If it takes you 7 whole minutes of just doing figure eights to get him into a calm brain, what's worse? 1 second of a leash correction and then straight to food, or 7 minutes of him being in a crazy brain? That's the question I have for people that say corrections are always bad. What about the state of mind of the dog? Right? We get you into a calm state like this much faster. They can learn faster. And then, I don't know, whatever. I think that's enough. I think I'm starting to babble, right? How long have we been out here? I wonder how dead that battery is. It was on 59, but when it's cold, it goes faster. It should have been on about 80 still. Because we only made one video today. Huh. I'm a big guy. Long lines over there. I need my gloves and my coat. Good job, dude. Oh, that was great.